button. So that'll do it.
So get your burps and farts out early. We live again.
Yep. Now we're live. Um. Hey Steve, how's it going? It's been a bit.
Mark, hello. Good evening. How
It's
are you?
I'm doing good. So we have a little bit of a. It looks like our connection is not the best this evening, but that's okay.
It's all
Caller,
right.
turn your radio down.
It's been so long.
It has. So I've been pretty
Ooh,
sick. Um.
are
So
you okay?
yeah,
My
I'm good.
background is not like yours.
Yeah, yours is just.
Feeling better?
I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there. So
Yeah.
thanks for asking. Um.
Wow.
Are you talking about the lag here or what?
Both. Man, I look.
I
That
told
is.
you. I said you look like one giant pixel. That's all you are.
Well, I am. I mean, that just kind of goes without saying. But
I can count the pixels, Steve. Um,
jeez.
so we will probably keep this rather short this evening. We're thinking probably an hour. We'll shoot for an hour.
Ooh.
Hopefully the connection gets better. Um, Steve coming live from the surface of the moon.
I'm from under the water, daddy. It's swimming. It's bashing the beach.
It seriously is like that satellite feed. Like it's like I need to put a little thing that says like Steve via satellite. Um, but uh, yeah. So how have you been?
Gosh,
It's been a bit. Can you hear
I'm
me?
getting
Okay.
busy.
You've been busy.
It's been yeah. Yeah, you look and sound good. I, on the other hand, God Almighty, that is not good. What'd you do to your computer to make me look so bad?
I didn't do
Man,
anything.
I even like showered and all this. I shaved my legs for this.
You did.
Anyway, no, life's been good. We've been two busy dudes, and so
Yeah.
how's everything on your end?
Good. It's been busy, and like I said, I'm on the upswing here. Not really too sure what going on. Had sort of like a kind of a respiratory thing. Not COVID. Um, so I think it is worth mentioning that Eric Clapton has been officially contracted COVID. So eh, that's coming from our surprise, not surprise news. Let me ask you a question real quick. And we'll keep this
Okay.
we'll keep this as diplomatic as possible. Um,
Okay.
has has your opinion changed of his back catalog in lieu of recent events?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I mean,
Uh, it's a darn shame that Ginger Baker and Jack Bruce aren't here.
yeah,
You know,
Yep.
because I absolutely adore Cream. But no, I think Van Morrison and Eric Clapton are not good dudes, but they're not as a horrible person as Ted Nugent, who I think is the embodiment of just like if you could bottle every shitty trait of a human being and put it in one person, I think you'd call it Ted Nugent. He's not even that good of a guitar player either. So
he's not.
that's just my opinion. So
I
just
mean,
my opinion. I don't even think the Amboy Dukes are all that good.
no, I mean,
I don't even think he's all that good of a guitar player. I don't think he can hold a candle to. I think you could name, and this is just not because I don't like him as a human being. I just mean for playing wise too. I just think you could name off the top of your head probably 15 guitarists who are I think incredibly more talented than he ever will.
our connection got a little bit better, but okay.
Hooray!
It didn't. Okay, I just figured that maybe I would maybe do that, but it didn't do anything different. So, yeah,
Oldies Radio says Kid Rock. No, I never had a high opinion of him in the first place. So there's only one way to go, and that's up, and he has booze. So,
um,
but Mark, go please give me your opinion on all that.
Um, I've lost all sort of faith in him. I mean, I think that I used to think he was like, he was an awesome guitar player and things like that. And it's just like, as the years have sort of gone on, it's just sort of like, even before this, I was sort of like, he just like stole George Harrison's wife. you
Well, he
know,
also went on that racist rant and like,
yeah,
you know,
exactly. Yeah,
went on that huge racist tirade in the '70s. So
yeah, and the whole rainbow concert thing where it's like, all of his friends basically trying to get him clean and stuff like that, and it's just like, whatever, man. Like, just I don't know. Who knows? And I don't know what his demons were like, but I don't know. I just at this point it's just sort of like, I hear Layla come on the radio and I'm just like, whatever. So
you know who did a good version of that? The Allman Brothers. It's almost a spot on remake, but it's got every bit of Greg Allman, and the best part is there's no Eric Clapton. So
yeah. Hold on
so
one
there's
second.
that.
The wife is having trouble with the TV downstairs, so I'm pardon me for a second while I
Dun, dun, dun,
while I
dun,
send the
dun, dun,
instructions.
dun, 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 dun. All right, well, I'm going to read the comments.
Go
Oldies
for it.
Radio says, I got a 45 Stairway to Heaven, the Neil Sedaka one. I was unaware that Neil
No,
Sedaka
it's out there.
covered
Yep, it's out there.
Oldies Radio. Tell us how it is. He got some 45s at a garage sale on Friday and a Kodak Dowflex camera. That's okay. Jeffrey Boyle's checking in. Jeffrey, hello. Oldies
Jeff.
Radio, the WWE heavyweight champion of Minglewood barbecue.
I made some barbecue today, Steve. I sent you some pictures of it.
Right, where was the mustard-based barbecue on that? What
It
is
was
that stuff?
it was like a vinegar. It was like the vinegar-based barbecue.
Ooh.
We like the vinegar-based barbecue. Little apple cider vinegar.
I'm not gonna lie, that did look good. It did look good.
I didn't
it
have
looked
time to make.
delicious.
Get this, I didn't have time to make my own coleslaw, so I had to. I just got like the store-bought stuff, like in that little. It was, dude, it was disgusting. Like it was, because
Yeah.
I like to make mine like a sweet vinegar coleslaw. That's what I like. I like it to be like.
I like the sweet meat heat, baby.
That's right. So, all things considered, it was just okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, TV crisis averted. Yeah, so it's been a busy couple of weeks. So thank you guys. We had a lot of fun on the Blood Farmers. I thought that was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
I enjoyed watching it back and
Hope you guys liked it too.
Laughing at my own jokes and every time that the police officer was on was on camera, that was always a good time.
Hey, this sounds like a job for the police. What are you bothering me for?
What are you bothering me for? Yeah. But Steve, have you been listening to anything? Have you been purchasing anything?
Dude. What? So I we talked, I think, last time about that. I told you I was going to move my record player downstairs because my daughter started getting into that. She loves spinning 45s. I've done that, and I tell you, instead of turning on the TV or pulling up iTunes or whatever, when I do the dishes or whatever, I'll put on a record. And I've been kind of going back to doing that, and it's kind of, now that it's downstairs and kind of at the focal point of our house and where we spend the most time in it, I've started to play records a lot. And one that I have been playing this record, and I've also been watching the TV show that accompanies it, because I think it's one of the best TV shows and it makes me laugh. And I don't think for it being a 70s TV show is too outdated. Some of the jokes still work. The show is Taxi and the album is Bob James' Touchdown. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, we've talked about that on. I mean, you kind of hipped me to. You sort of hit me to that. I mean, I used to see that record all the time. I think I had a copy at one point. I bought a collection.
$1.
Yeah,
now it's probably
I don't know. You don't see him. You just don't see him the way that you used to. But you used to see that one quite a bit. Here's another one. I can't remember what the cover looks like, but it's another one that was pretty common back then. But that football one was always, because it was like a football on the cover, and you're like, what is this?
But I mean, you just got an incredible lineup. You've got Eric Gale, who I think is one of the most underrated jazz guitarists ever. You've got David Sandberg, Idris Muhammad, Steve Gadd. I mean, Ron Carter, just an all-star lineup. And this is so great. This is more smooth, radio friendly jazz. if you will. And I've been playing this. I've probably listened to this record 15 times in the past couple of weeks. So it's short, it's quick, it's to the point, and it's a really great record.
Excuse
The
me. Oh,
second
oh,
one,
oh, real quick. Oldies Radio said, "Does it have a coin on it?" And I think it does. I think
that one's Heads. That's the one that I think either precedes this. I think so because I've got that one as well. Um, Bob James stuff is,
okay.
I don't want to say common around here, but those are the two that you see
Okay.
the most around here.
Yeah, I think that's it. It has it has the picture of a buffalo nickel on the front of it. So.
Buffalo, yeah, yeah. So the second
And then there
one,
was Bob James Tales, which is just something all by itself. Who's daddy?
these are the songs that were good enough to be on the head. You understand? This is the this is the outtake.
I was going in a
This is
different
a
direction, but
record.
okay. Go ahead.
Buck Dharma flat out. You know who Buck Dharma
Oh
is,
no, I do.
Mark? I'm
I do
sure you
not.
do.
I don't. I've never seen that
So,
before.
so he's the guitarist and the primary vocalist for Blue Oyster Cult. This is a solo
Okay.
record.
Okay.
His one and only solo record that came out in '82. Um, if you, I don't want to say if you like Blue Oyster Cult, you'll probably like this. I mean, it definitely has that sound to it, but it's a little bit more radio friendly Blue Oyster Cult. You know, there's a little bit more emphasis on the songwriter and structures rather than just kind of riffs over riffs over riffs.
Hmm.
I love Blue Oyster Cult. I love this record. You can find it pretty cheap. I would definitely suggest checking it out. It's got some really interesting stuff on it. And again, Buck Dharma, I think, is such a good singer and guitar player. And the last record, I listen to this all the time. When I worked at the record store, this is one that was put on often, usually right when we open. And we would generally sell this album probably once a month by just playing it over the top. And that's Donny Hathaway Live. Are you familiar with this
I
album?
have that. Yep. Hmm.
It's a great live album, isn't it? It's a very intimate live record. Just great. Opens up with a beautiful "What's Going On." It's got a really great "Jealous Guy." Covers that as well. And just an artist that unfortunately was gone too soon. But this is just such a great record. Like I said, this whenever I put this on, I immediately think back to the guys I worked with at the record store, and just like this and Jimmy Cliff Live, and a few other records were just in kind of constant rotation. So this is one that always makes me think back at some of the shenanigans that happened and some of the silly conversations we had. Like one time we had one guy there who was wanting to separate John Mellencamp and John Cougar Mellencamp, even though we explained to him that it's the same guy. He was like, no, so he made two sections. You had John Mellencamp, and then right behind you had John Cougar Mellencamp. And it's like, this is the silliest thing I've ever seen. But stuff like that, when I play a record like that, I'm instantly transported back to, to stuff like that.
Did you guys play the Harder They Come soundtrack? Was that in pretty regular rotation?
No, his Jimmy Cliff's Live. It's like a
Okay.
greatest hits live.
Okay.
It's a really great one. That's the one that we played. That was regular rotation there.
Very cool. Yeah.
So that's what I've been kind of spinning around the house while I'm doing
Well, it's
doing
cool.
stuff.
It's cool because I know that you and I are sort of both in this sort of um, I've had two yard sales that were going to happen. I was going to do one last Saturday, and just because of being sick and things, it just didn't
Sure.
happen. And then we were going to do one this Saturday. The weather doesn't look like it's going to cooperate. So I'm in this mode of just sort of like, I really want to sort of get to the point where, my collection is just, that all killer sort of
Mm-hmm.
thing. So I know we're kind of both in that. And, today I had a sort of an interesting thing where, just kind of going through some records, to copy of like Queen's greatest hits. And like, as we talk about sort of like that one record player that like we're always playing records on, it's like, this needs to go down there. Like
Sure.
we'll listen to this way more. And of course we were listening to that. And that was a blast. And it was probably the first time I listened to that record in quite a bit. So um, that was before the um, what's the one tune on there that's just not, oh man, I forget. I'm trying to think of what it is. Um, you know how Queen, like, I feel like for our age, like there with We Will Rock You and like We Are the Champions, like with like the Mighty Ducks movies and stuff like that. Like that stuff
Yeah,
was like pretty ingrained in us.
Jock Rock.
Like that one, but
You remember that comp, Jock
exact
Rock?
exactly. But it was like that sort of era of like Queen is like it's really focused on like yeah that's like the best of the best, and then like and then there was like when Wayne's World came out, and then like that's
Oh
when sort
yeah.
of like Bohemian Rhapsody yeah, that was probably before, but like that was just like the perfect time sort of
I
for
think Wayne's World and the first Mighty Ducks movie, they came out right around the same time because I remember renting both of those and
okay.
around that same time when I was a kid.
But I just remember, my a good friend of mine got, the purple Queen's greatest hits, and we used to play the crap out of that, listen to that all the time. And it's a little bit different than that one. I think you know the one I'm talking about. That's from the '80s. It's like a black, like kind of black and red on the
So,
cover.
yeah,
Um,
it's
eh,
got Under Pressure and like all that. I mean, it's got like 10 songs, but they're all just like they're all
yeah,
killer.
yeah, like they're all like there's a few songs that have sort of moved into the Queen lexicon, which are like maybe the B sides or like the fan favorites that are now sort of. And because Sam had asked me, she's like, "Is this one on there?" And I was like, "No, it's not," because that's was like, "Oh, Don't Stop Me Now," that one. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like that's one that's like it's not on there, but like I feel like that's sort of. Are you ready for jalapeno poppers? To unlimited play.
Jock Jams, Jock Rock, dude. Yeah, those are like some of the like first CDs that like I ended up getting and just wore them out. And I remember they had a Kiss song on it. Yeah, obviously, and I didn't know that you could skip to the songs, so I have to listen to all these other songs before I could get to that kid. That was like before I knew that CDs you didn't I was like, oh, there's no fast forward, there's no rewind. You just got to listen to the CD and get to it. It's not like cassette tapes where you have to fast forward and
Right, right.
then you go too far and you have to rewind and so
Yeah.
different times, man.
The CD era was interesting. I mean, what was your did you ever have a CD that you found out that you could actually go backwards? Like, do you know any CDs like that? Like, so your very first track really isn't just the beginning of your first track, it's actually there's a hidden track
No,
before
but
that.
no, but I remember that. I remember, I remember, gosh, like a couple of friends of mine had like, what was the Corn album?
Life is Peachy.
The one after that,
Follow the
the
leader.
big one. Yes, that one. There was like 45 songs on it, and then you had the bonus song. And I want to say like the Offspring, Americana had the same thing. There was
Okay.
like a hidden bonus track or something like that for from what I can remember.
The
So, but no, I never knew about going in here and
the band Lit with A Place in the Sun. The very first song you can go back and there's about 2 minutes of like sort of this instrumental kind of like it's really good. It's like a really good riff, and then it's like then it goes into the beginning of the song. So it's like kind of like really launches the first song more than you actually would think it would. But
hmm.
yeah, yeah, that's the interesting thing about the CD era, right? That's how do you do that on vinyl, right? Do you just say, oh, we're gonna put the hidden track on there, or
No, you play it backward and you hear the devil.
oh, that's right. Um, so I got
Or not.
I got two things in the mail this week. Actually, three things in the mail. Haven't really quite dug into them yet, but I did want to talk about one album that you and I had mentioned kind of briefly. This was probably 2 weeks ago. We were listening to my
Watertown.
Watertown Sad Dad music. I am no longer listening to Sad Dad music. I hope that you're happy about that. I need to pick up that new.
I moved on to Lou Reed Berlin.
Well, the there's a lot of new releases that like I want to get, but I've been kind of just sort of practicing restraint, just like okay, because what the Black Keys came out. What was the other one that was coming out that we had talked about?
There's a new Stones live that's
That
really
Stone
good.
that Stones live one.
And there's three new Neil Young archive releases. They
Yep,
released
I
all
saw
three
that.
of them on the same day, I believe.
And
So
then there was something else that was coming out too that I found that I was like, I want to make sure that I get that. Um, but there's His Golden Messenger has a new thing
okay,
coming out. It's sort of like more like a jazzy, his style is sort of rooted in Americana, if you will. If you will,
If you
baby.
will.
Um, uh, from Durham, North Carolina, MC Taylor from his Golden Messenger. Um, I'm failing here, Steve. I'm sorry. I'm just my throat's killing me, but we'll make through it. We'll make it through. I got a little more left in me. Um,
You got to reach down deep and pull it up, Daddy. You got to
I
rise
got to
to the
do it.
occasion.
Um,
I can't just do Dustin Rhodes impressions for an hour. Oh, can I?
so it's all more so like kind of saxophone, and that's the cool thing about him is like and I like that about like when you sort of when you follow somebody on Instagram and it's like an artist and it's like, okay, here's their artist stuff, but then they sort of give you that glimpse of like, this is where that inspiration comes from, and he's really good at doing that. Where,
Yeah,
I mean, he's on another planet. You know what I mean? Like his music is definitely rooted in the things that are happening around him, but
sure.
his musical inspirations come from a completely different level.
Well, it
Um,
just goes to show you that there's more on Instagram than big booties. There's actually like
oh, there
really,
is.
really,
Oh, okay. Yeah, there
like
is.
really.
Yeah.
But I think that's the new medium. That's a new way to kind of discover artists. You can kind of get a look into what they're doing, and so I think that's I think one of the more redeemable social media
Yeah,
apps.
yeah, I mean it's cool too because it's like he'll just show a flip video of some records that he's bought or whatever, and when he came to Pittsburgh, we saw him play in Pittsburgh. He was talking about he went down to the attic and was like, he's like, I gotta get a second job after the amount of money that I spent on records at that place. Um, but yeah, so one of the ones I wanted to talk to you about, we talked about. I didn't bring the record, but like Mad Dog's an Englishman, Joe Cocker.
Yeah,
I've been listening to that quite a bit. Um,
on purpose.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I really like that. I really like that album.
I'll
Um,
give it. I've got to give it more of a chance. I feel like I'm too hasty in my
I mean, I think
my.
you gotta sort of just like you just gotta get in that sort of like Joe Cocker is definitely a vibe. Like when you listen to Joe Cocker, it's like you're just listening for like I mean Delta Lady, Let's Go Get Stoned, Space Captain, with a little help from her friends, which that's rocketing up the my Instagram thing. I think I'm up to about 70 likes on that video where I was stuffing a piece of bread in my mouth to that. Up where we belong, where the eagle flies. Says Oldies Radio. You are so beautiful to me. He's the Louis Armstrong of his day, in my opinion. That song is like what a wonderful world, you know. So I've been listening to that.
I
And
will say.
go
I
ahead.
will say this. I will say this, and maybe it's because I watched the Wonder Years every week as a kid, but I'm going to say that I almost prefer his version over the Beatles. Almost, I think they're neck and neck.
All right, all right. Yeah, I mean he's a great interpreter. I think that's the other thing that like he doesn't really get his due because it's like all the songs that he sort of made popular were like other people's songs, right? Like
Well, that, and I think that the garbage he did in the '80s. I think he's kind of, he's kind. No, no,
but
I'm serious.
but
I think that
Steve,
but
he sold records though. Like those singles, like
I'm not
he
saying
made
that
some money. He made some money on those singles.
yeah, I'm not saying he's working at the dry cleaners now or anything, but what I'm saying is that I think that in artists, like you look at Jefferson Airplane, do you think that like We Built This City harmed their like
100%.
was it what? Okay,
100%.
so it's the same thing like Ric Flair coming back to no, I'm being serious. Like he's wrestling Steamboat. Like they have this beautiful trilogy of matches that they did 35 years ago, and now they're going to add a fourth one to that. I mean, it's like adding a new Star Wars movie to a sequel. It's like we to the original trilogy, or worse, going back and fumbling with the original trilogy. But that no, I think Joe Cocker, that is this stuff he did with Streisand. Like yeah, that absolutely I think harmed his
Was that
legacy or harmed.
Streisand? No, that was Jennifer Warren's. No, what was that?
Okay, so there's a difference.
Yeah. No,
They don't sound alike.
I think you're confusing I think you're confusing Chris Christopherson and Barbara Streisand in A Star Is Born. Yeah, I think that's what you're doing. No, but
And
so here's my thought, Steve. My thought is we talk a lot about artists that were popular in the 60s, early 70s, who lost their footing in the 80s. Joe Cocker did not lose his footing in the 80s. Joe Cocker made some money in the 80s. He did. He made some money. Dude made some
I,
money.
I'm going to let you finish, but we're going to have a healthy discussion about this because I've interrupted you like 11 times and you still haven't showed me what record. So
But no, all I'm saying is that like so you sort of discount all that stuff from the 60s, or that stuff from the 80s has prevented you from sort of listening to any of that stuff, because I mean really he only has like 3 albums. That's really all he has.
I like
There's
his first record a lot, the one with Bye Bye Blackbird and things like that on it.
okay,
And
okay,
I think Jimmy Page is on that album too. No,
yeah,
I like that
yeah,
record a lot. Um, I just yes, yeah, I would say his '80s stuff. Yeah, it's not about if they were popular or not. I mean, yeah, he made some money, sure, but you kind of does your later success eclipse the quality of your original material? Does it leave a bad taste in your mouth where you're like, no, I'm not going to go back and check this out because of, you know,
John's
you are so beautiful.
John's on. It's not for me, Steve. It's not for me. I'm not. I mean, I'm not gonna listen. I'm not gonna pull those out. I'm not gonna love
Right.
lift us up where we belong. I'm not gonna listen to that. I'm not gonna pull that out. But I feel that
Unless you're at the dentist and you just can't because that's usually what they play over
with
the
the
top.
eagles fly. Yeah. Uh, John, John, weigh in on Joe Cocker for us. We're having an exciting conversation about Joe Cocker. Please weigh in. Oldies Radio is talking about Fred Waring's Pennsylvanians. Yes, I have a couple of their albums. Yeah, I love. There's one that it's an orange cover, and I believe it's just called Fred Waring's Pennsylvanians. It has Dry Bones on it, which is really good. Um, but yeah, I have some of his Christmas albums too. Um, interesting. That's an interesting sort of. It's all those like if you think about the singing arrangements in like 50s Disney movies. Like, we got 10 minutes because we came in twice, so we'll do it. I'm going down for the count anyhow. John says not a fan. All right, so that's fine. So we'll move on because we got 10 minutes. So the counterpiece to that I feel was Rock of Ages by the
Ooh,
band, which is sort of like it's kind of the same sort of thing. Like I don't know, it's just like a big live show, a lot of people on stage, a lot of instruments, a lot of whatever. Um, Probably one of my favorite band albums.
okay.
And I was thinking like if I could only pick one, would I pick this one or would I pick the Brown album? And that's sort of where I'm at right now with the band. What about you, Steve?
Big Pink, baby.
Big Pink all the way. I mean, it has its moments, but
It has its moments. It's kind
baby,
of
don't you do
underwhelming.
it? Don't you
Ooh,
break my heart? Rick Danko on that with the bass man. Whew, that's it's stanky. Okay, so quick couple of things, just stuff that came in the mail. I pre-ordered this a long time ago, and
ooh, baby.
Grateful
He's
Dead
gonna. Did
Dave's
you buy
pick,
2 copies?
just one. No sense
You
in
open
being.
it.
I'm I'm just gonna sell this one. By far the worst packaging ever.
Really?
I will go on record to say that. Had 4 styrofoam corners right on the side. It was a miracle that this didn't come with a busted corner. Excuse me. Um, so I have this on CD. I was one of the lucky ones that I did have the Dave's Picks Volume One on CD. But yeah, this came out on vinyl. 5,000 copies pressed for that one.
What number
Um,
did you get? Is it numbered?
it is numbered. I got 3876, which if I could say something, 3876. Was that a Grateful Dead show?
5309.
3876, is that a Grateful Dead show?
What here, let's pull it up on the old machine. What
Oh, this is by the way, this is May 25th, 1977, so this is almost
Star
exactly
Wars.
Star that was when Star Wars came out, which was why that's on there.
What was the date again? Sorry.
Uh, 3876. That has to be a show.
No,
No.
we have 3870 and 3892. So they played in on
So sell it.
so 70 of Santa Monica in 70 and Landover at the capital of Maryland in 92. So
Ooh, nice. Um, the other thing I got was, and I've been kind of this is one guy that I've been buying a lot of his stuff that just kind of consistently, really for the last couple of years. Um, is Kevin Morby. I think you've heard me talk about him before. He's definitely sad dad kind of rock music or whatever. It's called "This Is a Photograph." Um, I kind of got to be in the right mood to listen to that, so I didn't want to just kind of like force feed myself that, but he includes a little photograph that was autographed in it. So,
oh
um, uh, he has some pretty cool stuff. You know anything about him?
nope.
Uh, I would maybe check out his album. It's called "Oh My God." It kind of has a Lou Reed sort of kind of um,
Is that who you would compare him to?
sort of like a Velvet's, like just the way he's kind of like between Lou Reed and Bob Dylan for like vocal
Oh wow.
inflection, like just the way he sort of sings stuff. So yeah, I mean it's cool, you know, it's modern indie rock kind of thing. So he's been on my, you know, anytime he's put stuff out, I've been kind of going after it. So um, every time this is a photograph, every time I look at it, it makes me laugh. Look at this photograph. So that's pretty much all that I have.
Okay.
Um, please, if you want to do some talking until our Zoom meeting ends.
Well, do you want to plan another watch along? Maybe not this week, but maybe next week. We can kind of start hyping that. We have a Facebook page, John and Oldies Radio and Chris, and people post on it.
I posted on it
That's
today.
fun.
Did you see that?
You did, yeah, and I
I
liked
finally
it.
liked
Yeah,
it, and
I was
I'm
like,
a friend of
man,
it now.
look at Mark jumping on his own Facebook page.
Goofing off with the Sparks. That's a great tune. You familiar with that one?
It's Oh yeah, I almost posted that,
Oh,
but
okay. See, great
put
mind, Steve. Great mind.
no, I'm serious. I was like, yeah, let me put funny face. That's what gives kind of like my introduction to Sparks. So I'll do that. But no, I came close to putting goofing off on. So
Oldies Radio posted your fan art. Oldies Radio. I also saw, what was it? You're doing something with 16 millimeter film or something like that. I didn't get a chance to really dig into it, so I'll have to check that out. Um,
some kid drew my
on my P.
Pelco 7 in my PFP. What's PFP?
I don't know. You'll have to explain your code.
In my PFP, personal friendly. Phalanges with a P, baby.
Steve, are you getting excited for Memorial Day? Are you gonna have a cookout?
Absolutely. I'm gonna make food and eat it.
Okay.
So, but no, I'm not having.
You doing some barbecue?
I might. I've been wanting to fire up the
Profile
grill.
picture. Profile picture. That's what that means.
Oh, okay. You guys see, Mark and I are old. You got,
dude, and I am way older than Steve. So
I don't know about way older. Well, that's yeah. You're like what, like 44? I'm still a young man, Daddy. I can. They still call me the young calf.
Just wait. Just wait till you have to like fill out those surveys, and then you're in like that upper demographic.
Oh, I already have to like spin my thing back like when I'm like selecting my date of birth. So,
yeah, have you seen the meme of that where it's like the price is
right?
Like
yeah. No, wait.
The wheel is spinning around. There goes $1. We need 35 cents, and will it be enough? 14 cents. I miss The Price is Right. I don't watch it anymore.
Have you seen the new Kids in the Hall? Were you a fan? Are you a fan of
Oh
Kids in the
yeah,
Hall?
I mean, I saw that that was coming out or whatever it was.
Yeah,
So
I've got it. I've got it queued. I haven't watched it yet. I'll probably watch it over the weekend. Well, maybe depending
is it
on
on Netflix or is it what is that?
Amazon Prime. I think is what
Okay,
I saw it on. That's what I've got. I've got both of those. So those are my main
yeah.
uh, sources of entertainment.
And if, as we were talking about at the beginning, in the last 2 minutes here, make sure you watch Svengoolie this weekend to see the return of Doctor Fibes.
And then
Um,
get on his Facebook page and just completely complain like 6 months prior to this that all he shows is black and white movies, and then when he shows something other than that, immediately start complaining.
and then that's it. That's the way that the Svengoolie page works. The original Doctor Fibes is like I said, that's probably one of my favorite. The frog mask part of that
Yeah,
is by far one of my, like, when you really think about what happens and it's like he's in the mask and it's, and then like the eyes start turning red from the blood. It's incredible. It's an incredible. Um,
that's it. I know in your top three Vincent Price movies as well, along with mine. Like the only thing, like I would put House on Haunted Hill, Fibes, and then probably, ooh, I don't know what my third one would be. Maybe what
Theater of
was the
Blood,
name of the? No, was it not he had the skull mask. I'm embarrassing myself.
The Mask of the Red Death.
No, 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 no. This was another. Believe it or not, this is another one of his '70s movies. Um, this
Oh,
like
with Doctor Death, that one. The
yes,
what is that one called?
I've I have having a brain fart
No, oh, that one. Yeah, that one's really good.
because
That's the one
he's not.
with Christopher Lee in it. That one, is that the one you're talking about?
Let me see. Let me see. Oh goodness, we're losing. We're running out of time.
Yep.
Got me under pressure.
Under
Uh,
pressure.
Moochie Goes to Hollywood. No, I don't think that's it. Madhouse.
Madhouse. That's it. Yeah, that's the one with Christopher Lee. That one is
Yeah.
that like I don't know. The Tingler is pretty good too. If you ever saw the Tingler, that one's pretty good too.
Ooh, the Tingle.
That's probably like a number 4 for me.
What
I
is
would say
Moochie Goes to Hollywood? Moochie Goes to Hollywood is a 51-minute television film from 1971. The film chronicles the adventures of Moochie, an ambitious dog owner attempts to become a canine star after befriending Zaza Gabor.
where does Vincent Price fit into this?